All right, so I'm going to enter the cab using 3 points of contact. I am going to adjust my seat to me. I'm going to adjust my mirrors to me. I'm going to put on my seat belt. My seat belt is not cut or frayed. Latches properly. No missing nuts or bolts. Then I'm going to turn my key to the on position. My ABS indicator light should come on and turn off within a couple seconds. Now I'm going to conduct a safe start. My gauges have cycled. My brakes are set. And I'm in neutral. I'm going to turn the truck on. Alright, so I have my temperature gauge. Needs to build to the proper temperature and not overheating. My fuel and DEF gauges are reading at the proper level. My oil pressure gauge needs to build to the proper pressure within seconds of the engine starting. My air pressure gauges building to the proper PSI between 100 and 125. And my voltmeter is charging between 12 and 14 volts. Now I've got my left turn signal indicator light, right turn signal indicator light, my hazards, and my high beam indicator are all working properly. So now I've got my city horn, toot toot, highway horn are working properly. Got the windshield. It's not chip cracked or broken. It's clean and clear, free of any obstructions. All of my stickers are current and up to date, and there's no illegal stickers. My rubber seal on the window is not cut, cracked, dry rotted, or missing, and I see no signs of leaks. My windshield wipers are functioning properly. They are not broken, cracked, or damaged, no missing nuts, bolts, or parts. The washer fluid is operating properly as well. Then I have my defroster. It's working properly. My heater is working properly. So now I'm going to test my brakes. I'm going to test my tractor and my trailer brakes. So I am going to release my tractor, press my brake, put myself into drive, and I am going to check to make sure my trailer brakes are holding and working properly. So I am going to accelerate lightly and just tug against the trailer. So they are working properly. I am going to release my trailer to check to make sure my tractor brakes are working properly. So I'm going to accelerate lightly. I should feel a tilt. Tractor brakes are working properly. So I'm going to set my trailer. So now I want to build air pressure back up to about 125 psi. So I'm going to accelerate. I'm going to bring it up until the governor cuts out. Bring my air pressure back up to around 120 psi, 125 psi. so my air pressure is built to the proper level. Now I'm going to start my air leakage test. I'm going to reach over, turn my key to the off position, back to the on position. I'm going to release both my brakes. I'm going to wait for my air to stabilize, and I'm not going to touch those brake valves until I'm completely done. If I touch those, I'll fail. So the air has settled. I'm now going to ask my tester, do you mind if I time myself with my cell phone? They're going to say yes. So now I'm going to set my timer for 1 minute and 2 seconds. So I'm going to press and hold my brake for 1 minute. I shouldn't lose more than 4 psi in that minute. So I'm going to press and hold and then start my timer. So always make sure that you press and hold, then start the timer, because it has to be exactly 60 seconds.
Okay.
And always say before you do. So like I explained exactly what I was going to do before I actually did it. That way, when you're actually doing something and you're trying to talk, you're not jambling over yourself. And you're not saying something and then something happened well before you even said it or stated that it was going to happen. Right. Timer's up. I'm going to release my brake. That beeping is just because my key's on. So in that minute, I didn't lose more than 4 psi. Now I'm going to fan my brakes. Around 60 psi, my low air warning light and buzzard should come on. I'll continue fanning. At around 20 to 40 psi, my trailer and my tractor brakes should pop out or set. So yet again, I'm going to fan until about 60 psi. My low air warning light and buzzard should come on. Continue fanning. Around 20 to 40 psi, my trailer and my tractor brakes should set. So I'm going to start fanning. Fan a little bit past. My low air warning light and buzzard has come on at around 60 psi. Continue fanning for the 20 and 40. And I'm going to stare at them. They both have popped out. So now I'm going to restart the truck. So what I'm doing now is I am going to accelerate to build air pressure back up above 60 psi when my low air warning light and buzzard should turn off. So at around 60 psi, my low air warning light and buzzard has turned off. Now I'm going to allow my air to build back up to the proper range between 100 and 125 psi. While I'm waiting for it to build back up, I'm going to get out my truck using 3 points of contact. I'm going to remove my chocks and put them away in the storage box. When I come back in, the air pressure should be built up to proper operating range. Then I'm going to put on my seatbelt and I'm going to do a service brake test. So with the service brake test, you would release both your brakes, put it into drive, pull forward at about 3 to 5 miles per hour, and then just bring the truck to a nice stop. When you bring the truck to a nice stop, you tell them it shouldn't pull to one side or another, and that the brakes stop the truck. So pull forward, come to a stop, All right, the brakes stopped the truck. Truck didn't pull to one side or another. Then I asked them, would you mind getting out, checking my lights in the front and the lights in the rear? They're going to say yes. They're going to instruct you to roll down your window, turn your truck off, and the key back to the on position. And they're going to stand up front. They'll give you the thumbs up every time you are done. All right, so left turn signal, right turn signal, hazards, headlights, high beams, marker, ID, and clearance. Would you please move to the back of the vehicle? They're going to move back there. Once they're back there, you're going to run through it all again. Left turn signal, right turn signal, hazards, clearance lights, marker lights, ID lights, and brake lights. And that's all.